Fox Business Alert closing bell ringing in about 5 minutes. We want to just say a lot of green on the screen here. The Nasdaq is up 242 points, Dow up 383, S&P up 54. We should look at Apple. It just crossed back above the $4 trillion market cap level. A couple of bits of news here. Apple is getting set to produce its smallest computer, the Mac Mini, in Houston by the end of this year as part of the company's commitment to boost manufacturing in the U.S. Apple originally made a $600 billion promise to invest in the U.S. last August in an effort to stay out of the Trump administration's tariff crosshairs. Stocks also getting a boost after CEO Tim Cook said at the company's annual meeting that Apple continues to plan for annual increase to the dividend. All right, well, quite the turnaround from yesterday when the market plunged because of this viral Substack report by a company called Citrini Research that essentially said AI will bring on a, quote, global intelligence crisis in 2028 and will be the downfall of white-collar knowledge work. What does the guy who was an early investor in companies like Snowflake, Uber, Zillow, Kayak, and NVIDIA have to say about this? Brad Gerstner is back with us. Brad, by the way, just some housekeeping here. We put in multiple requests to Citrini Research for more information. Neither of their main people is a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. We looked. We're waiting for them to call us back. But how do you see that research report? Fact, fiction, or somewhere in between?
Well, listen, I think that it's a really important representative report of the anxiety and the concern people have. Listen, we're at the start of one of the biggest phase shifts, the biggest super cycles that we've ever been in. I've lived through four: the internet, cloud computing, mobile computing, and now we're entering the age of AI. It will be bigger than the internet itself. It will be disruptive. But Liz, if you go back to 2000, remember there were concerns that Amazon was going to destroy Walmart. Well, Walmart's one of the most valuable companies in the world today, and Amazon's one of the most valuable companies in the world today. But it creates a lot of anxiety. Discount rates and terminal values change. And so you see the days like yesterday where everything's plunging, and then a day like today where everything's bouncing back up. A lot of volatility. I like to say we're in the fog of war. People are trying to figure out what the path forward looks like. And so I think that was a catalyst for a lot of concerns about the future of software. Is software going to be as valuable in the future as it was in the past, given AI can write software? And it went to a lot of other things. I think that it went to a logical extreme. I think people slept on it overnight and realized it probably overstated the case on some of this. So we see a lot of the things that sold off yesterday being bought today. But the questions that it drives, right? When and how much labor displacement are we going to have? What are the downstream consequences of that? Is software dead? Are the multiples for software justified given the changes that are going on? Those are going to be continuing questions this market wrestles with over the course of the next several years.
People want to know what you and your $15 billion are investing in right now, your favorite stocks.
So I will tell you this, the overarching theme now for 2 years at Altimeter is we want to be positively correlated to improvements in intelligence. We think there's no turning back from artificial intelligence. And so that means the biggest things that we own are things that are in the production of what we call tokens. Tokens are those, things that we're computing in order to produce intelligence. So our biggest position is NVIDIA. We'll see them report after the bell tomorrow. CoreWeave, SK Hynix, and TSMC, they're making the chips, they're making the memory, they're building the data centers, all the stuff needed to produce artificial intelligence. On the other hand, we're also major investors in OpenAI and Anthropic, the two leading frontier labs in the United States, which are producing the intelligence and the agentic layer to allow enterprises and consumers to benefit, whether it's ChatGPT or whether it's Claude Code. And so we want to make sure that is where the vast majority of our dollars are invested. Just a few years ago, our biggest positions were in software. A lot of people have asked me, I did a podcast 20 months ago, is software dead? And I said recently, software's not dead. Their numbers aren't going down. They're all hitting the numbers. But what has happened is their stocks are down 30 or 40% because investors are saying the future is cloudier than it was just a few years ago. We can't forecast as well. Therefore, the terminal value must be lower. The discount rate is higher and the multiple comes down. So the stocks come down well before they start missing. So I would just say it's in the too hard bucket for Altimeter at this point.
Well, it's somebody that I wanted our viewers to listen to, Brad Gerstner. Good luck tonight at the State of the Union. Thanks for joining us. Markets close in the green.